I'm back to do another walk. This is going to be the Wherryman's Way. The Wherryman's Way goes from Norwich to Great Yarmouth and is about 35 miles long. So we've just got off the bus with my trusty companion Paul to join me. And we're next to Norwich railway station, which you can see just behind me. And on the other side we've got the river. This is the River Wensum at the moment, but the actual route does follow the River Yare most of the way. So we start off just by, actually this bit is a bit grim, I've done this bit before, and it's just, as you see, lots of traffic, and it's going to take us like half an hour walking to get to the countryside. So let's do this. This is a part of the old city wall. It's been cut in the middle. You can see it both sides of the road here. We're just walking up King Street. It's a pretty awful bit, this. A lot of traffic, fumes. Be glad to get in the countryside, to be honest. So we're now coming into Trouse. We've left Brackendale behind us, which is the road that comes down out of Norwich. This is the first village that we come to. The walk that we've been doing up to now is actually the same as the Boudicca Way, as you can see on the signpost. But the Boudicca Way now splits and goes off through Trouse village and across that field, which I've done before many years ago. And we go this way, which is going back towards the river, and it joins up and then it will follow very closely to the river. Right, so we are here on this path and we're going to follow it round. We're going to go round the whole of the Broad on the south side and then go to Whitlingham Woods on the end. So we're just passing what they call Millionaires Row, and there's a ruin here of a building that used to be used by royalty. There's a plaque about it here. Trouse Newton Hall is originally the country retreat of the priors of Norwich Cathedral. Oh, there's the train on the other side. And would have been the grandest home in the whole of Whitlingham in its day. So if you're interested to read about that, pause the video. So I decided to stop. This is Whitlingham Country Park and there's a cafe just here which happens to be still open because it's now about just after 3:30 in the afternoon. So we're going to stop for a quick coffee, pack ourselves up and then carry on. Yeah, we're probably going to be there in the dark. But it's okay. It'll only be a little bit dark.
You know the way there, don't you?
Yeah. So this is the first walk that I've done since finishing the coast to coast, whereas if you were following my journey, I obviously had knee problems and had to stop because my knees were swelling up so much. So it's been about 2 months now, and this is really the first walk that I'm doing with a little bit of weight on my back, although we're sort of day hiking doing this one. So I thought you might be interested to know what I was trying to help mend my legs. So basically what I've been doing is a little bit of yoga every day. I've been doing a few sun salutations in the morning. Not too much else, to be honest, just really just being consistent, doing 10 sun salutations every morning, following the Ashtanga yoga type practice. And other than that, just trying to get out walking at least once on a weekend and just build it up really slowly, to be honest. And now I feel like my legs are at full power again. I'm feeling okay, so it's going to be interesting to see what my legs are going to be like after all this walking this weekend. So our plan basically is we both had to work this morning, so It's walking this afternoon to Surlingham, and then tomorrow we're going to walk to Reedham Ferry, and then it'll be Reedham Ferry to Great Yarmouth is the plan. So tomorrow's looking like about 15-16 miles. Today is about 10. And then the last day I think we have about 10 or 12, something like that. This is where we turn off the Broad. The Broad's just behind the trees there. So now we have to go over the little bridge and join the lane. So this in front of us is now Whitlingham Wood. And I think we get to walk inside the wood a little bit as well. Poor guy, his canoe seems to have broken. Or is that a kayak? Kayak? Canoe? So now we're on the actual river, yeah. We left the Broad behind. And we've just joined up with the river, which goes off around the corner there. We're following it down this way. Going under the A47 away from the river. On the next section we have to go around the sewage works, which is not a very pleasant part of the walk, but unfortunately, because the sewage works own the piece of land that's next to that river, we can't go through. Believe me, I have tried in the past and you can't get through, so we have to just do a little bit of road walking for the next, I don't know, half an hour or something, until we get back in the countryside and then back by the river again. So we're just passing the sewage works, which doesn't smell very nice actually, but it's not for too long, luckily. The sun's starting to go down, and I think the sun actually sets about 6 o'clock these days, so we've got about an hour of daylight left and a possible, I don't know, 2-3 hours worth of walking to do. So we're probably going to arrive in the dark, which I'm not too worried about. I wouldn't recommend it if it's the first time you're doing this walk, but this first stretch I've done lots and lots of times, so I know the route quite well, and it's quite a clear path. And I know that there's no dodgy kind of soggy bits next to the river or anything like that. So we've got our head torches with us anyway, and I think we'll probably arrive about 7 o'clock in Surlingham. So if you're interested in doing this walk, there's a couple of B&Bs in Surlingham that you can stay at. They're quite easy to find online, and I'll put links below this video to them so that you can find them. We've decided not to camp this time, so just trying to make things a little bit easier. I wasn't sure how my knees were going to be, so I didn't want to carry all the weight, and because it's a bit colder, etc, etc, thought we'd just have an easy weekend, make it a fun kind of relaxing thing instead of making it a kind of difficult thing. And yeah, so the plan is tomorrow, after we walk to Reedham, we're actually going to get the train back to Norwich, which is where I live, stay at my place, because I couldn't find a B&B that was available because I didn't book it far enough in advance. There are B&Bs in Reedham and also in Loddon, which is an alternative place that you can stay at, both of which I will be showing you tomorrow. Yay, so we got to the end of the concrete road bit around the sewage works. So now we go up this footpath and back into the sun over the fields. So we're now coming into Brammington. So we got to one of the first pubs that's on the river that we come across. This is called the Water's Edge pub. As you can see, they've got loads of outdoor seating. It's a really pretty spot, isn't it? Nice and peaceful down here. We're not going to stop though, because we've got this pressure of the sun going down. As you can see, we're running out of daylight already. Wow, it's quite pretty though. They do water skiing down here as well in the summer months. So a wherry is one of the old boats that they used to use on the rivers and on the Norfolk Broads to ferry products from Great Yarmouth and from places up the river to Norwich. And the wherry boats are a typical boat that's got a big sail on it. They don't have a boom, mainly so that they can lift the sail over the products that they stack quite high on the boat. There's one that's still in service, I know, that runs actually trips for holiday makers, so you can rent it out for a couple of hours or something and go out with the captain and find out about it. But all along the route of the Wherryman's Way, they've got these little bits of information about the way and the wherry boats. And they also have, let's have a listen, see what this one says. Anything? Maybe it's broken. Okay, I think that one's broken. So you might be wondering who this character is. It doesn't really look like he works on boats, does he? And he didn't. He's actually a character, a local character that was born in Norwich called Billy Bluelight. And Billy used to come down to Brammington in the late, I suppose the early 1900s, and race the steamboats that went to Norwich delivering goods. And whether he actually raced against the wherries as well, I'm not really sure, but he used to run from Brammington all the way to Carrow Bridge and see if he could beat the boats there when they went past. And quite often he actually did. "2 miles to Surlingham," it says. So we are quite close. We might get there. Oh yeah, we've got perhaps an hour of actual daylight left, so we might make it in seeing conditions, hopefully. It's very peaceful, there's not many people around at all, which is quite nice. It's the way I like it. This is Brammington Common, and in summer it's packed with people having picnics and enjoying the river. People actually even go swimming in the river. Although that's something that personally freaks me out a little bit, because I had stories when I was a kid of there being a weed that grabs hold of your feet and pulls you under the water. Haven't quite got that image out of my head, so happy just to paddle in it or dangle my feet in off the side or something. So some of the properties that are up the top of this hill, they have a garden split in two with the footpath, and then they can come down the stairs, and they've all got river frontage so they can put their boats on the river. This one's even got kind of summer house here. I think they're quite expensive properties when they sell them. Must have an amazing view, it's quite high up, that one. You can't actually make it out on the camera, but the moon has come out and it's over there. So if it does get dark, we're all right. It's going to be quite bright, I think, because it's a clear sky. We're just coming around the edge of Brammington Woods. The river's to our left still, but we've come a little bit away from it. So, not sure how far along. We're probably not too far away from the edge of Surlingham. But then we have to kind of go all the way round the river, round the edge of Surlingham. Just a little bit more. It's just beautiful though, it's so peaceful. There's hardly any wind. Temperature's starting to drop a bit now. I don't know, it's probably maybe 10 degrees, I would say, 10 or 11 degrees, something like that, Celsius. It's quite a nice walking temperature. Though my hands are getting a bit cold, so I might put some gloves on in a minute. And there's no one on the paths. It's just empty. So we just come across this is Surlingham Church. And so this road goes out to the main route to the village, but of course we get a more exciting route. We get to go down this footpath and follow it round the back, which is a lot prettier. This bit is so muddy. We're having to really like squelch our way through. Paul's just like marching through, ankle deep in mud up there. Oh my god. There's the moon. I didn't know.
There it is. It's very low over the. You see?
Near the water?
It's coming across now. Between those.
Oh.
It's a hell of a way away.
Yeah, I did just catch a glimpse of it actually. Oh, that's cool. You hear a lot of owls around here, don't you? So it's pretty dark now, as you can see. We're still going, but mainly it's on lanes now. We've just come away from the river, coming in the back of the village of Surlingham, not too far from the ferry inn, which is by the river. So we're just coming off this lane. It's got a little bit brighter because we're not in the trees anymore. And then we have to follow the village round and go to the other pub in the village, which is called Coldham Hall. Yeah, and then looping around the village a bit, and then we're done for the day. So join the road and off we go. This is the Coldham Hall pub, which we've just popped in to use their loo actually. Still got a little bit further to go, but we're back by the river again for a short bit. You can see the moon quite clearly in the background now. Right, how are you doing? Ready to carry on?
Yeah.
Great. There's a lot of dampness in the air now. I feel like my jumper's getting really kind of cold. Yeah. From the pub we only had to walk another 10 minutes and then we reached the place that we were staying at, and had a nice dinner, I've got to say, and then just went to sleep. Nothing exciting, so ready for an early start the next day to carry on. Don't forget to watch day 2.